surreal being introduced. That's my name. Okay, so, they're giving me 10 minutes. Nice. All right, so we are here to talk about the neuroscience of awe and wonder. Now, when I originally started putting together this presentation, I put it together for a body of, neuro people, and there was a lot of really highly technical stuff. And it was a much longer presentation, so I was able to go a lot deeper. I made this one a little bit more fun, and I even threw a diagram in that was, it's a brain diagram, but it's not an accurate brain diagram. It's just to be fun because we try to talk about these parts of the brain as if they each do individual things, and this mentality that if we poke this, that's going to happen. And in fact, we're a field, we're a system. We exist in a place of totality. And so when you look at a human being, you don't see parts of them. You just get a sense of who they are. You take them in, and that's how we relate to each other as people. So I figured that because we're all in the business of trying to understand what we're trying to accomplish with flow, what we're trying to accomplish with these different modalities, whether they happen to be physical, mental, or psycho-spiritual, to reach a point where there's an understanding of a common goal. So hopefully I'll help you to do that today. Here we go, I can see what's going on. So, we're going to talk about the definition of awe and wonder. Awe is a complex emotion combining fear, admiration, and surprise. So, awe is interesting because many times awe is talked about in a religious context, or somebody has a life-changing experience and they're frozen and they're changed forever. Moses with the burning bush and that type of thing. And really the science behind that is that it freezes and locks a moment in time and burns it into us. And that is when we're completely available to whatever's coming. I mean, you see a burning bush somewhere or some giant mastodon walks up to you and you're not thinking about the laundry or the grocery list, right? You're like, and so few of us get to that place anymore because we live in this world of just this follows this, follows this, follows this, and I have to get through my day, and then the tank has to get cleaned, and every time this moves, it gets louder, huh? So anyway, let's see if I can make that better. I sound better now? Okay, great. So basically, awe can be a little scary for people, and wonder is kind of a nicer place to be. And wonder is a cognitive state involving curiosity and a desire to understand. So if you can get past the awe, if you can get past the fear, the feeling of, oh my God, this could hurt me, or what's going on, you can get to a place of really trying to understand now what's happening and how it relates to the larger scale of you and how it relates to maybe the person next to you. And so why is that important? Well, it's important because it helps us understand. By understanding how we feel, we can understand maybe how the person next to us feels. Or maybe we want to try to share that with them. If something really happens to you that's really beautiful, you want to tell somebody, you want to be like, oh, this thing just happened, and oh my God, and they want to be there with you. They want to have that empathy with you. So the wonder component is really phenomenal. And it helps us in so many ways. It helps us in physical ways. It helps us in mental ways. And we're always talking about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system and all of these physical functions that we have that we're trying to improve upon by going into a float tank and having these beneficial experiences. And truly, and this is my true belief, that most illness, most injury, most disease starts up here. Okay? And so we've got this world that's acting on us all the time, and we're reacting to it. And we've got generational trauma, and we've got our own personal lives and our indoctrinations and all of the things that have brought us to the place that we are. And we're always just kind of running these programs, and it's never a situation where we just get to be us. We're always just a reflection of what just happened, or what happened to us 30 years ago, or what somebody dumped into our brains when we were in theta because we were 7 years old and the church said that, and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, this is kind of like an awesome looking thing, right? I mean, we all love these giant, expansive landscapes. We all love to be able to go and like look at the ocean. Like, who hasn't been on a boat and been in the middle of the water and there's like absolutely nothing there for miles? And you're like just blown away. You know, you can feel so small, and yet that feeling of smallness can make you feel so connected to everything. And that's really the beauty of awe and wonder, because what we've done is we've gone the other way. We've kind of micromanaged our existence to the point where if like I freeze this part and I bake this part and I squeeze this part, I'm going to be okay. And really, that's not how it works. How it works is you know you're okay and all the systems follow. And that's what really, you know, people that spend a lot of time floating, they get to that spot. They get to that place where they know they're okay, and now they can start being a creator in their lives. They can be in the tank, and even though they don't know they're doing it, they're planning out, you know, maybe 7 steps ahead, 4th dimensional chess, where they want their soul to go. And so what we're trying to do with the RoXiva is create a complementary experience to the float experience, because you know that there are just some people that are never going to get in a tank. They can't spend 30 seconds alone with themselves in the car without staring at their phone, okay? So I equate it to like a bunch of kids running around screaming, and you're trying to, you know, get them to calm down. Now you can do that thing that all our other parents did and scream at them and say, stop, and, you know, and they like freeze, you know. And that's kind of an awe thing, because they're terrified of these giant beings screaming at them, but that's not good. Or you could do something that really engages them, like get their attention, do something really cool, and all of a sudden they're looking at you like, ah, and that's wonder. So if we can give that to people when they come in, if we can give them wonder and open them to the fact that they can control their emotional states, and if they can just turn off the default mode network, and we're going to get into that right now actually, okay? So this is the funny diagram, all right? And I tried to get ChatGPT to make me a diagram with all the words I really wanted, and it just, you know, it doesn't do words so well. But I thought it was funny that it kept throwing awe and wonder everywhere. So I left it. I was like, this is perfect. Right? It's the awe and wonder brain. Anyway. Okay. But really, what's going on in the brain, okay? We already talked about these things, so let's go on to this one. All right, so the brain regions involved the prefrontal cortex, planning, decision-making, anterior signaling cortex, emotion regulation, and then the default mode network we're always talking about. And certainly the amygdala is involved here. And everybody knows what it's like when you go into an amygdala hijack. The sympathetic nervous system engages, panic ensues, and you're like really just freaking out. We have the ability to really stop that dead. And how many people have had a RoXiva experience while they're here? Right? Okay. How many of you had an experience where you just stopped thinking? Raise your hands. Okay. And so, how many people go into a tank for an hour and don't get there? How many people go into a tank for an hour and a half and don't get there? And now they're frustrated. Because like, I paid for this thing, and they told me it was going to do this thing, and I don't feel this thing, I'm a loser, you know, and they don't come back. They don't tell you why they don't come back. You just never see them again, you know? And so this is something else that you can offer them. Something that is a wow. All right? Yeah, right? Now how many of you people are going to be worried about, you know, anything other than what's going on that thing that you're on? Right? And so really, this is like grabbing your client by the shoulders and going, pay attention. This is you. I mean, we can get all spiritual, and I've got the diagrams out there about the higher self and the Merkaba and working up Jacob's ladder and Dr. David Hawkins, you know, map of consciousness, and all that's there. We are a dimensional portal. We are something that can really transform people's mind, body, spirit, all of it. And I just invite you all to think about the path that you want to take your float spot on. Do Do you want to be a float spa that gives people the physical experience, the IV drips, the nose thing, the oxygen, there's 100 different ways that you can compete out there if you want to go the medical kind of stuff route. Or you can do probably what got you into floating in the first place, which is I want to give people peace and a connection to themselves and a way to expand their consciousness and maybe manage their emotional states better. So I'll leave you with that question, and I'll thank all of you for being here. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get to spend more time together. And thanks, Flow Conference, for letting me know.